Heyo! Yeah! Bring in the energy. Come on. Heyo! Yeah. Heyo. Right on, people. We're back. Yeah. Let's yuck it up. Let's give them what they want. Let's give them what they want. They want it all. They want it all. Maybe I shouldn't give you what you want. Because too much is never enough. That's right, people. Too much is never enough. We have these insatiable appetites. Bigger, better, faster. More, more, more. On every level. It's too much, people. Everybody needs to calm down. Even with food. I look at people walking around. Hey, no offense if you're like overweight and stuff. I get it. There's like different genetics and stuff, and people have different issues, but have you guys looked around when you're out and about in this so-called society? Have you looked at the people around you? What the fuck? And these women, they're letting it all hang out. Hey, if you were a bigger girl back in the day, you know, and guys, we know that I don't have a problem with the ladies with a bit of adipose tissue. Z's okay with that. Z gets down with that. I'm not like a freak when it comes to that stuff. But come on, people. Everybody get a hold of yourselves. Sugar. I see these people. They go in the convenience stores, 7-Eleven. Around me, we have one called Wawa. Anybody who listens to Matt from Quantum of Conscience, he talks about Wawa. We kind of live near the same area-ish. I'm South Jersey, he's Pennsylvania. And you go into these damn convenience stores, and I just see the drinks that these people are getting. Caffeinated, sugary, insane amounts of sugar in the middle of the day. They're fat asses. They're just dumping sugar down their throats, liquefied sugar. It's all hormonal, guys. You have to really, these things are, your body gets programmed to certain things. You could say it basically turns into an addiction, but it's not. People think it's mental. People think that they could white knuckle things, that they can use their will, force of will, to break these so-called addictions, but it's very hard because your biology becomes programmed in a sense, becomes entrenched. We're talking about neural pathways. We're talking about hormones, your endocrine system. These things govern your urges, your so-called biological needs, and people get these so-called addictions. And there's ways out of it. A lot of it's breaking pattern. You know, in the NA and AA, they talk about people, places, and things, which is interesting. It's an interesting part of the human psyche and human behavioral dynamics. Is you know, the set and setting and how we are conditioned for certain things. Now, I've talked about epigenetics on here a lot of times. It's kind of is a buzzword in these so-called, you know, communities, but it's something you can look at. It's basically the idea and this phenomena that your genetics, the expression of the genes, are strongly influenced by the environment. And this can mean many things. It can mean the chemical environment that the genes are in, the biological environment, and and also the physical setting and the set that we exist in. We think about this boundary between us and the rest of the world, but it's not a functional boundary. You interact with the world. To think about it, you breathe in air, you consume food, and there's an uptake mechanism for both of those processes. You're consuming the particles of the world around you, incorporating them into your body. Well, the environment plays a huge influence in our the human organism as a whole. So a lot of pattern breaking and breaking habits has to do with the people, places, and things, which is basically your environment. You guys want to break pattern, break your environment. It doesn't mean you have to uproot your whole life, leave your family, move to a mountain in northern Tibet like Nachiketa. Shout out to Nach. You don't have to live on like an ashram and meditate 12 hours a day, become a breatharian. I'm not saying that. That's too much. I mean, you can do that if you want. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying break pattern. Do something different. How did I get on this? Oh, all the fat ass fucking people that are walking around. Again, no offense if you're a tubby lard piece of shit. I mean, I don't want to make you feel bad about yourself, but your friend Z's here kind of giving you your wake up call. With the sugar, carbs, these white processed bleached flour, which is basically just sugar, guys. It's just sugar in your body. And I know they don't make it easy for us. Because if you're hungry, if you want to get calories, it's much more cost effective just to go to McDonald's and get like, 2 quarter double cheeseburgers or 2 quarter pounders with cheese or whatever, Big Mac. You can get like a Big Mac, large fries, and a Coke for like the same price as like, a head of broccoli. Well, if you're hungry or if you got to feed a family, you think you're going to go get the broccoli? Okay, yeah, broccoli's healthy, but you're not going to like live off the broccoli. And I see these vegans that try to tell me, oh, it's got protein. And so I understand it has protein, amino acids that build into protein and stuff, but it doesn't have the fat. It doesn't nearly have the same nutrient density, of course, as something like a Big Mac. You're going to go get the Big Mac. You're going to go to KFC. You're going to go to Taco Bell. You're not going to get the broccoli. You're not going to get the kale. I'm tired of people saying, oh, you can just grow it yourself. Oh, okay, really? They're throwing you into these, these urban environments. They're stacking you into these living units that are basically just pods. You just grow it. See, yeah, like everyone's going to have a homestead. You need like a family and stuff for a homestead, a community. Everybody's a righteous truther. Well, you could just do that. Okay, you do it. Let me see you do it. You could just blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm a vegan. Well, let me look at you. Yeah, let's look at you. Let's look at your skin tone, skin color. Let's take some blood work. And there's going to be 3 vegans right now. They're going to just go crazy in my chat. They're going to flip out on me. Okay, fine. Either way, stop being such a fucking fat fuck culture. People just walking around. They just can't breathe. You watch it. And then I go, how do they function? How do they keep a household together? Operate in a normal, let's say economy? But people are doing it. It's become normal. This is the new normal. Tired of it. Calling for an end of this bullshit. It's too much. Yeah, Nuba says I did the homestead thing myself. It doesn't work. Yeah. Because that's what people tell you, Nuba. Like, oh, Nuba, if you really care, you just have a homestead. Then, there's Nuba by himself, like, trying to, like, build a homestead. Guys, when you see farmers and stuff, they have families, kids and shit. Then the kids start to work the farm at a young age. There's a community. They've put you in a society. There's really no true bonding in a society. You're bound to another based on an overarching control structure that just tells you should be. And you could really just look at a natural state of man. Human connections are made naturally through family, through necessity, not through convention, through edicts, through indoctrination, nationalism. I'm bonded to you because, ever since I was 6 years old in school, they made me do the Pledge of Allegiance. We're all Americans together, my fellow Americans. What about my fellow family member? What about my fellow community member, my fellow tribal member? What happened to that? Actual bonds, energetic bonds. Whatever. What am I even talking about? Just went off. Is anybody even here? All right, I'll start the show. People say, what do you mean? You didn't start the show yet? I'm like, okay, you don't get it. Maybe you're one of those people coming out of 7-Eleven and Wawa, just slurping down a big gulp. We have these things in 7-Eleven, it's a convenience store, called Slurpees. It's just like sugar iced water. Instant brain freeze. People love it, though. Can't get enough of it. Even me. Like, I put sugar in my coffee this morning. Sometimes I put honey. I'm trying to cut the sugar out. See, I'm probably just doing this because I'm projecting. I don't want to have the sugar in the coffee in the morning, but I do it each morning because I'll come on here to be brain dead otherwise. So I'm trying to cut the sugar out of the coffee and just do the coffee with, my butter, maybe some coconut oil. I'm working on it. Whatever. All right, let's start the show. It's too much. It's too much. Let me make sure I'm here. Howdy. Let's do the opening. Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising and Grand Approach, and welcome back to Z Show. This show, my show. There's my name, which is just a letter, Z, in case you don't know. And it's my show. People ask me, well, what's this show about? What is this? You don't have a topic? What's the topic? I'm going to tell you the topic. It's the same thing as the name, Z. I'm the topic. Oh, what does that mean? What an idiot. Well, it doesn't matter. I didn't ask you to be here. You came here. You clicked the button to come here. You had to make an overt action to be here. And then you claim victim status. Z's mean. He's mean to me in the chat. Like yesterday, I don't know if you guys were paying attention in the chat, but like the demons were active. I don't know if you guys notice it. Like whatever's in the air, I don't know. They say it's like a full moon, a blue moon. Yeah, blue moon. But guys, there's no blue moon, just so you know. It doesn't exist. It's just they made it up. It's a construct. You understand? The months are artificial. So if there's 2 full moons in the same month, that's just because they told you what a month is. Because it's impossible to have 2 full moons in the same month. Because celestially and through all history and all, natural function in this realm, a month is a moon cycle. So the moon cycle defines the month. So you can't have 2 full moons in the same month. So I don't know how many times I have to talk about this on my show. I don't know. Maybe people will get it eventually. It's the dumbest thing ever, a blue moon. Now, if you have an extra full moon in the same year, in the same solar year, which happens every certain amount of years. Okay, maybe we honor that. We call that the blue moon, which probably was what it should be, based on all observable phenomena in the cosmos, but not in an artificial month that they gave you. That's not the way it works. I don't know how many times I have to explain this. But either way, where was I? The demons were active. It's like the trolls that I have on my channel. Like, you guys all act up at once and you feed off each other. It's like, we are legion. And you guys I watch it. Like, it's crazy to see the phenomena. Like, you guys all, like, your demons just become activated simultaneously. It's insane the way you guys are, and you don't see it. You're literally insane. So I was watching that yesterday. I'm like, wow, they just all act up and they just start feeding off of each other. And like, I could just be like a little bitch and just block all of you, And I may sometimes. I'll put people in jail sometimes. But I'd rather just let you spiral so that way people can see you for what you are and observe your aberrant and abhorrent behavior. So I'll just let you kind of hang yourself. Especially the ones that are completely obsessed with me. The ones who are literally watch me every second that I broadcast here. If I go to another channel, they're watching every second. Do you realize how much time, energy, and attention out of your own life that you're dedicating towards yours truly? That's very strange. I've conjectured that it's probably homoerotic for some of you. Maybe you're not even in touch with it. Maybe you need to look into that. Strange behavior. But it is a public platform, so there you go. So I'm wondering if it was the blue moon, which is just a full moon. But yeah, guys, there's no blue moon. I'm trying to get you guys, again, I'm trying to get you out of their entrainment we were all locked in. They're creating frequencies for us, whether they're literal electromagnetic frequencies just being pumped out from all this Wi-Fi technology, cellular, cell phone technology. Guys, it's all the same thing, right? I don't know why I'm screaming at you, but I'm going to continue to do it. Fuck it. You guys just know it's electromagnetic energy, whether it's called, your cell phones, like these cell towers. It's LTE technology. Whether it's, radio, like regular radio, when you turn it on and listen. It's all radio waves. It's all electromagnetic energy, guys. It just is. Radar, the microwave that you cook your fucking food in. When you go and you have a broken bone and they do an x-ray. It's all the same thing, guys. There's no difference. It's all the same thing. It's just a different frequency. They just tell you it's different shit. It's all the same, guys. It's just different wavelengths, which is basically different frequencies. Well, it depends on which domain you want to define it by. What does that mean? It means there's electromagnetic energy, artificial electromagnetic energy, everywhere and at all times. And it's going to affect you differently depending on a number of factors. The intensity of it. Again, like I said, it's particular frequency along the, its bandwidth along the full spectrum of energy. You understand? Whatever frequency it is defines the wavelength. Higher frequency, shorter wavelength. Lower frequency, longer wavelength. Depending on the wavelength, that's how it's going to interact with your human biology, the biology of your body. Certain organs, tissue. Your tissue has different density. The density of your tissue will react to particular frequencies. What happens is when the tissue density is in a particular resonance with the electromagnetic frequency, it'll cause resistance. You understand? That resistance creates an energy. The energy may be dissipated in multiple ways. It's most likely expressed through oxidative stress in your body, which causes these things they call free radicals. Now, what does Z know? What does Z know? He's just a guy in the basement. They have these frequencies everywhere, just flying through the air, everywhere. We're not supposed to be affected by it. You have to take active measures to be healthy in this world. Because if not, this world is just ready to flush you down the toilet. It really doesn't care about you, especially you guys. You have to understand, men, you're expendable to the world. You're not needed. Do you understand? If you just had like 5 men left on the whole world, you could just repopulate the whole world. You could really probably do it with 1. 5 would probably give it enough genetic diversity. God, 100, even 1,000 would be great. It's all they need. They don't need you, men, if you're hearing my voice. No one gives a fuck about you. The only person that needs to care about you or that will ever care about you is you, really. You guys got to understand this. Biologically, you're not needed. You're expendable. Your value basically comes from your utility. I don't mean like spiritually to God. We're all, children of God. I mean to this world. Don't expect anybody to give a fuck about you guys. Get used to it. Get comfortable. Study stoicism as a man. Did I start the show? Yeah, I did the opening. Oh, no, I forgot to say the part in the opening where we're broadcasting live and in living color around the level horizontal realm. Just so people know where I stand on that subject. If you're new here, let's greet the chat. Who's here? Who's here? Music holds a secret. The John Lennon quote. Nice. And a Beatles quote. Capricorny, much love. Big drink tea. What's up to you? Producer Moose says a 20-minute intro helps me make coffee because I'm sometimes like a diesel engine and starts slow. That makes 2 of us, Moose. You gotta understand, I start the show when I hit the button and I go in and brush my teeth, wash my face, try to come back to some degree of coherence. Yeah, Moose, much love. Sunshine Time, nice name. Says morning, everyone. Morning to you. Benton in the house, much love. Ryan Johnson. There's Nuba, yeah. The producer says, woo, Z's going global. He's not going to like this. Well, Moose. The only thing I don't like about it is, how can you go global when there's no globe? Just saying, I don't know. Axis Rat Bloods here, ruled by Saturn. Yes. Coming at you somewhere in time. Who else? Rachel Zinger in the house. Hola, Rachel. Welcome. Welcome back. There's Heidi Divine Spirit 313 in the house. Benton talking about gallbladder reflexology. Spot on his left foot is making quite the ruckus. Interesting. Not sure exactly where you're going with that. More stomach, actually, the more I dig around. So apparently Benton's doing reflexology on himself with his feet. Much love, Benton. Wouldn't it be nicer, though, if you had, somebody doing that for you, preferably a lady? I'm thinking one of those, Asian ladies. The weird thing about Asian women is they're so tiny and petite, but their hands are very strong. It's weird. It's weird. I know from experience. I don't know if anybody could back me up on that. Their hands, like a death grip in their hands. And you're like, how's their hands so fucking strong? They have no muscle tone at all, but they have these insanely strong hands. Maybe you need a nice Thai or Vietnamese or otherwise East Asian lady down there, Benton, with your foot reflexology. Just saying. Sounds like a nicer experience than just doing it yourself. Who else is here? 3 Fingers. Much love, 3 Fingers. Hope you're well, 3 Fingers. It's good to see you. Hope you're well. David Banner in the house says morning to you. Ozil B, yeah. Logical observations. Liking that. Numbers dropping, coming at us. Braxton, much love, much love. Who else is here? Guys rolling in hot and heavy with the chat. Yeah. Much love, everybody. Thank you for your well wishes, your positive affirmations, and your good intent. Wonderful. Gordon Zola. Yeah. We're doing it here every morning, guys. That's one of the things about this show. Rocker Chick. Much love. Jim Peltzer. Jim says, I work at Retard Mart. There is no hope for humanity. Yeah. Moose says, single ladies in the house for Z. Moose, you trying to hook me up, Moose? I've drawn a hard line, Moose, between me and my audience and any, potential of physical interaction and stuff, romantic. Sorry, ladies, I don't want to let you down, but I'm drawing a hard line there, Moose. Like, I've done the mental exercise, the calculation. I don't think it's going to be a good idea for me to break the fourth wall with any of these ladies. I can't imagine that would work out well for me, especially based off my track record, Moose. I'm not one of these guys that, after the relationship, we're like, oh, we're friends. And then we keep in touch and send each other Christmas cards. I'm not that guy. I don't know what that says about me, if that's good or bad or indifferent or otherwise, but I'm not the guy that when the relationship's over, things are cool. It just is gone after that. I'm not really looking for that. It doesn't really serve me. Just saying. I don't need all that stuff. What'd you say, Moose? He says, I burn bridges too and don't look back. Yeah, dude. It's kind of like a thing. Say what you want about it. Dr. E. Val's coming at us. Yeah. Much love, everybody. We're doing it here. We're doing it live each weekday morning. What was I going to say? Yeah, a lot of the show, guys, is just being here, showing up, doing the show. I never know where the show's going to go. I always, before the show, I have my material. I want to cover certain things. I know when I get in the second hour, I always want to have something. A lot of times we'll do hashtag science. Sometimes we'll do a, we'll review a old-timey film or some propaganda and stuff. But because of the open format of the show, you never know where it's going to go. The other day, Brian Staveley showed up to the show. We had a good segment, which was cool because then Mr. Staveley, I noticed last night, replayed or the segment that he was on from my show. So I got to listen to that, and it was cool. It was cool having Brian on, and I think that's what I love about Staveley is he's a fucking consummate professional at this point. He comes on and just boom, this drops the heat right away, and then he and I can drop into our thing. We don't even have to talk about it. I hadn't talked to Brian in months. He comes on, and then we're just into it naturally. But then I was thinking, because I know Staveley lives with Karen B. I don't know if you guys know that. I mean, I don't want to go crazy, but Staveley they're they're not together. They're not a couple, but they live together. And then I got to thinking well, we know my recent issues with Karen B, who I love, but I'm a little scared of her. We know that. I'm a little intimidated by her, her power and her control that she has over the entire flat Earth community. So I was wondering, like, if, because now Stavely was playing me again on his channel. And I was just picturing, like, what that must have been like if Karen B turned on YouTube. So Stavely's premiering something on his main channel. And then Karen realizes, oh no, he's playing Zetetic Warrior on his channel. And we know Karen's like a mafia boss. So I'm wondering if that was like an issue for Stavely, Because we know Stavely lives in the attic upstairs. And I get into my imagination. Like after Stavely's broadcast of my show, it's like, Stavely hears a knock on his door. It's like, knock, knock. Stavely's like, yo, who's there? And she's like, you know who it is, Brian. Who else would it be? It's me, Karen, duh. And Brian's like, oh, fuck. I knew I shouldn't have played Zetetic Warrior on my fucking channel. I gotta deal with Karen. She's like, come on, Brian, open the door. Open the door before I blast it down. Like Scarface when he has the fucking shotgun that has like the grenades underneath. Dr. Evil says, or Ted. Nah. Not for a situation of this magnitude. Not for like such a betrayal from Brian Stavely. She's not gonna send Ted in. She's gonna pull this hit herself. Yeah, Robot said, who's there? And he's like, oh, fuck. She blasts the door down with her grenade. Say hello to my little friend. Yeah, that's right, guys. On my channel, Karen B's basically Scarface. Brian's like, oh, fuck. Where am I going to live now? Yeah, I can imagine Karen wasn't really too excited that Stavely's playing Z on his channel. What did I tell you, Brian? I told you. We're not going to acknowledge that fuck, that shithead. Apparently I'm a shithead. And he's like, fuck you, Karen. I said, I can't do my Boston accent, so I gotta go into my Good Will Hunting mode. I play who I want, Karen. And she's like, I already told you, Brian. I allow you to go into all that Mandela bullshit. And I do that under protest. You know what I did to that whole fucking Tatari and Meltology community. Don't make me do the same thing to your Mandela Effect community. All right, Karen, all right, I got you. No more fucking Zetetic Warrior on my fucking channel. God. Yeah, that's right, Brian. Don't make me destroy Mandela Effect community like I'm gonna take down the Tartaria retards. Fuck, okay, all right, Karen. Karen B's like, first I took down those Meltology morons. Then I showed those Tartaria idiots where it's at. What's next, Brian? Don't make me put my fucking sights on the Mandela Effect people. I'm gonna take Mandela right off the map. And then Brian's gonna be like, fuck! This is where I get myself in trouble. Rocker Chick says, what happened with Karen? I like Karen too, Rocker Chick. I love Karen. I think she's great. But I don't think Karen's in love with me. Karen's not up. Yeah, we all like Karen. I love Karen. That's why it hurts so bad. Because I know her disdain for yours truly. I mean, when I was on Rose's channel, I was conjecturing that maybe Karen just, harbors certain feelings towards me. Maybe feelings that she's not in touch with. Maybe erotic feelings. Maybe she's like uncontrollably attracted to the Zetetic warrior. But then Rose was like, no, Z. Like, Rose shot that down in 3 seconds. Rose was like, yeah, there's no way. There's no way. Rose was like, sorry, non-starter. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. I'm just trying to make myself feel better. Rocker Chick says, what happened? Nothing happened. Look, Karen's just a tough cookie. She sits atop of an entire Flat Earth syndicate. I understand where she's coming from. I can't imagine it's easy to be the leader of a Flat Earth mafia. I could only imagine that's like not an easy thing. So I know she has to kind of be tough. Look at Scarface. You think it was easy being Scarface? Do you think he wanted to fucking blast his best friend Manny because he was boinking his sister? No. But he did it anyway, because you can't look weak when you're Scarface. And you can't look weak if you're Karen B. It's not a good look. Ruled by Saturn says Flat Earth Mafia is no joke. Oh, we know Ruled by Saturn. And let us not forget that Dave Weiss himself confirmed that Karen is indeed the leader of the Flat Earth Mafia. So, what other evidence do you need? No. Scarface didn't want to take out his best friend Manny. He didn't want to do that. But he did it anyway. I'm sure Karen B didn't want to take out all you Meltology people. But she knew what she had to do, and she did it. I actually commend her. It's hard to do the tough things in life. The things that need to be done. Not everybody wants to get their hands dirty. Well, Karen's not afraid to get her hands dirty. Somebody's got to do it for the Flat Earth community. Who else is going to run the Flat Earth community? Eric Dubay? Like a vegan pacifist? He doesn't have what it takes. I understand Karen. Karen will come around someday. She's going to realize that Zetetic Warrior is going to be her greatest asset. Karen and I are going to have an allegiance of necessity. Just the way it is. They say politics makes strange bedfellows. Well, I'm proposing a union. We could do it. Eric Dubay can't run the mafia. Who else is going to run it? Mark Sargent? Sorry, Mark, I like you, but you don't have what it takes. You don't have the moxie that Karen B has. I'd imagine when it's time to make, the tough decisions, Mark Sargent's not going to really be able to handle it. Mark seems like he's more worried about getting that Flat Earth pussy. Here's a question. Is Mark Sargent like Flat Earth's most sexiest man? Is he the most eligible bachelor in the Flat Earth community? What does that say about us? Hey Mark, stop hogging all the Flat Earth trim. Save some for the rest of us. I don't know. I just hear things. What do I know? I just hear things through the grapevine. I know. Like as Stavely's playing me on his channel last night, he starts to hear, footsteps creeping up the stairs, coming towards his door. All of a sudden, he's like, "Fuck!" A little drop, a little bead of sweat rolls down his forehead. He knows he's in for it. Karen's like, "You fucked up. You fucked up, Brian." Stavey starts to backtrack. "Nah, Karen." Like when Frank did his failed hit on Tony. Tony! All of a sudden Brian starts going into like, oh shit mode with Karen. Yes, Snowfire, flat earth trim. There's gotta be some benefits to being a flat earther. There's really no shekels involved. Dave Weiss has all the shekels. He's sucking up all the flat earth shekels. Him and that German. So if there's no shekels left, well, what am I in it for? Well, I'm in it for the flat earth trim. Come on. I need something from the endeavor. That's right. The flat world is yours, Chico. Dr. Evel says we'll print more flat shekels. Flat shekels are hard to come by. Alright, that's enough of that. We'll let that sleep. But you guys know I had to do it. You guys know I had to go there. There was no way I couldn't. There's no way I couldn't go there. But much love, guys. I hope Karen knows I actually love her. This is all just for fun. I'm basically just pulling her pigtails on the playground so she'll pay attention to me. Karen, this is what I do, Karen. I get on here and I kind of razz people. People get in their business. I'm not on here like really like... I'm not like, oh, Karen B's a shill. Everybody's a shill. Dave Weiss is a shill. Mark Sargent's a shill. No. I love you guys. This is just what I do. I do it for attention. Usually people end up showing up here when I talk about them. Karen B's holding out. And I get it. I understand, Karen. You can't look weak. When you're the head of a fucking syndicate, I get it. You can't show weakness. It'll be your downfall if you do. I understand that. I understand. But at some point, we're going to have to, you get it, guys. You understand. Heidi says Z pulls everyone's pigtails. Maybe I'm just jealous. Maybe I'm jealous of like Mark Sargent, and Ted, because they have all of Karen B's attention. Maybe I'm just looking for some attention, Karen. Because like I said the other day, Karen, in high school, Karen would have never paid any attention to me at all, like whatsoever. Karen was part of the cool clique, smoking cigs behind the gymnasium, listening to like Deftones, Pantera. Fucking Sepultura and shit. And I was just like a dork. There's no way Karen B was paying attention to me in high school. So yeah, maybe I feel a certain kind of way about it. Maybe I'm projecting here a little bit. Maybe I'm projecting my own insecurities. All right, fine. At least I could, entertain that. Yeah, Pantera, Capricorni. Sorry. All right, I gotta stop. I gotta end that segment. I gotta end that segment. That's just too much. But much love, guys. Much love. You gotta love this so-called community. At least I'm just doing fake beef. Phil says, Z, you was never a dork. You're right. I was never a dork. At least not in my own mind. But objectively, I probably was, dude. Now, the truth was, I was like a jock. But I wasn't like a top-tier cool jock. I was like the jock that was like, kind of good. Like I was, the captain of the football team and stuff. And we won 2 state championships and stuff. But like, I was like not like cool about it. I was like way too serious about it. Like I was going to the gym, lifting weights, running. I wasn't like the natural, like big swinging dick jock fucking all the cheerleaders. That wasn't me. I wasn't that guy. That wasn't me. Yeah, I was in the cool crew, but it took me like a while to work up to the cool kids. Like in middle school, I was not part of the cool kids, but then once I showed some kind of like athletic acumen, it kind of gave me a foray into their world. Like I didn't have sex in high school. Like I didn't go down that road until like my sophomore year of college. That's when I finally broke through that gate. Was like I said, it was in college. I wasn't one of these early bloomers. It just wasn't. Let's play some music. Much love, everybody. We're well into the second hour. Thanks for being here, guys. We're all in this together. I'm going to say this again. I don't know why. It's just on my mind. Is who knows when the other shoe is going to drop? I do see a community here for what it's worth. It's a loose community. It's kind of many communities, but there's an umbrella of this trutherism. And we find ourselves here. Many of us come here looking for connection. Many of us come here just trying to cope. A lot of us, especially in the last 3 years, we've lost friends, family. Many of us have gone through great trauma, upheaval, change. We've lost people. A lot of us are here to cope. I want you guys to realize that I understand that, and I'm part of that. And I do this show for me just as much as I do it for you guys, maybe even more so. So I just want you guys to realize that, and just know that I have an understanding of where many of you guys are, because I know where I'm at in my consciousness, in my psychology, in my emotions, and otherwise. So I just want to thank you guys. Either way, we're going to play this song, and after this song, we're going to be back for the next segment. I'll bring you #science. And we're going to play Austin Whitsitt. Either this or his wife. This might be just his wife. It just says KYZ, Matrix. Have I heard this song yet? So I was going to say, let's play Whitsitt, but it looks like I'm about to play Whitsitt's wife, the lovely Kai. And I know it's going to be good because I've heard their other music, and it is good. Take it away, Mrs. Whitsitt Gets It. Should we just call her Mrs. Gets It? I like that better. Mrs. Gets It. Take it away. Z will be back shortly. Don't go anywhere, guys. Much love. Talk to you soon. Ooh, I like this one. I've heard this one before. Yeah, coming at you.
You feel restricted. The last day's getting way too wicked. It's just like ancient books predicted. Been feeling different from the system. Too much distance. It's just so sick. They're so complacent. They worship six, and don't even flinch. It's just psychotic, chaotic, following false prophets. It's psychotic, chaotic, made the world agnostic, babe. What they gonna say right now? Oh, they really wanna hate right now. But I think they're just afraid right now. Got their heads in the clouds with a mask on the face like a clown. What they gonna say right now? Oh, you wanna be awake right now? Well, you better get real brave right now. Put your knees on the ground. Gotta pray to the king with a crown. I have to tell you that we're living deep in the matrix. We in the matrix. Chase all the lies and you'll find that this place was created. You were created, darling. What they gonna say right now? You about to have a panic attack real quick. Like, sorry, the earth's flat, it's fact, no trick. Just look at the proof and the true measurements. Cause I've been winning arguments against the best physicists. But this, don't know what it is. Lately I've been going around in circles, but I do not feel the spin. Oh, this, don't know what it is. But you gotta keep it like a secret, you can't even tell your friends. And if you tell them, they say, how could it be? Don't mean nothing to me, they're gonna pick up and leave. And if you tell them, they say, how could it be? Don't mean nothing to me, they're gonna fall back asleep. What they gonna say right now? Oh, they really wanna hate right now. But I think they're just afraid right now. Got their heads in the clouds with a mask on the face like a clown. What they gonna say right now? Oh, you wanna be awake right now? Well, you better get real brave right now. Put your knees on the ground. Gotta pray to the king with a crown. I have to tell you that we're living deep in the matrix. We in the matrix. Chase all the lies and you'll find that this place was created. You were created, darling. What they gonna say right now? What they gonna say right now? What they gonna say right now? What they gonna say right now?
Yeah. That was Mrs. Whitsett. Kai, I believe her name is. That's pretty litty, as the kids like to say. It was litty. Yeah, and she's hot. Just saying. Liddy. Right on, everybody. Coming at us. Yeah, that had people up dancing and stuff. The sucky part about StreamYard is as a platform is the audio's not great when you play things through it. I think it degrades the audio like on purpose for probably copyright reasons and stuff. Who knows? They could easily make it better, but it's not ideal for like playing music and stuff. Just saying. But much love to the Whitsets holding it down. Christy Lee Doll says, I was moving my hips in bed, LOL. You see what Christy does? She says things like that. Do you try to distract me from my broadcast, Christy Lee? Stuff like that. I have to picture you shaking them hips of yours in bed under your covers, likely in the nude. I mean, that's how I'm going to picture it. Just saying. Do I need to go there? That's going to just distract from the broadcast. And I don't have to center myself. I know it's my fault. I need to have better control. Yeah. Hey, don't laugh, rocker chick. I'm actually being honest. Like it brings me to a place. I'm like, oh man, I'm actually broadcasting now. I got to focus. Yeah, huge distraction. Exactly. Now I've distracted you too, David Banner, because now you have to picture that. Um, Somebody was saying they're in South Carolina, Joe R. Oh, and Heidi's in Florida. I don't know where you live, Heidi, in Florida. I don't, you don't have to tell us, but apparently they're like evacuating large swaths of the southern United States. Apparently, they call it evacuation orders. If you're ordered to evacuate, hey, government, little hint: like if you're dealing with somebody like me, maybe don't call it like an order, because I'm a stubborn fuck. You start telling me I'm ordered to evacuate, like I'm probably going to do the opposite. And I wonder, like, because they know that. They know the psychology. It's a little game that we all play with each other. You're ordered to evacuate. Oh, really? You're ordered to wear this mask. You're ordered to take this needle in your arm. Oh, I am? Well, really? Okay. They have to do it on purpose. They're creating this, so-called dialectic. Don't think they're not. Like, don't think this whole BLM versus, like, back to blue cop thing isn't completely engineered as a dialectic. It is. They're going to order you out of your home as if they can do that. It's a joke. But yeah, apparently we got people like Joe R. I think he said he's in South Carolina. I know I have a number of people in Florida. This hurricane looks weird. It's taking a course that I've never seen before, where it's like appears to be sweeping from the Gulf of Mexico, like west, like basically moving in a northeasterly direction, which is kind of weird to me. I was like making that weird turn. Joe R says it took one day to go from a tropical storm to a Cat 4 hurricane. Interesting. Yeah. Who knows what's going on with that stuff? People are saying HARP. Manufactured disasters, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know, guys. We can go on and on about the weather, whatever they're doing. I could just speculate. I'm not one of these people that are going to come on and speak definitively and say, oh, yeah, it's definitely HARP. It's definitely, because I don't know what it is. But I would agree it's fishy. The weather's been fishy for a while, ramped up more here. Like all summer here where I live, like the air quality's been poor. You can barely breathe. It's excessively humid. It's pretty weird. Something's going on. Something strange is happening. But whatever it is, they're going to make you think it's your fault. Yeah, Chrissy Lee, me too. She says that she's sick of the fake clouds all the time. Yeah, I talk about that constantly. They spray the skies 9 out of 10 days here. But they're going to make it seem like it's your fault. Whatever it is. Global warming, global cooling, hashtag climate change, hashtag pollution. It's your fault. They're going to blame it on you. They're not going to blame it on, the industry that they've created around, exploiting all of your base desires and needs. They're not going to tell you about that. They're not going to tell you how they engineered a consumer culture. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you about, their lifestyles that they're living. Hey guys, how much pollution do you think comes from these private jets that they have, these multiple homes, these extravagant homes that they don't even live in? If you have 3 homes that you don't even live in, that you're still heating, using air conditioning, electric and stuff, the home that you visit twice a year, but you still have the in-ground pool that's always ready to go. Yeah. You don't think that's consuming resources and polluting, but they're going to make it seem like it's your fault because you have to drive your combustion engine vehicle to work, because you need to heat your home so your family, doesn't freeze to death. They're going to make it seem like it's your fault. Yeah, like Phil says, cow farts. Because you have to eat. No, just be vegan. Don't eat cow, then it wouldn't be cow farts. Ugh. Go against like your biology. Just don't eat flesh. Sorry. I'm not saying that, that we can't reduce our consumption of red meat. Most of us eat way too much, but come on, people, cow farts. So it's your fault. They're gonna make it so you believe your very existence is a sin. Guys, they've been doing it since the religions. They've been pumping down your throat for thousands of years, if not more. If we're to go by any historical timeline, oh, it's your fault. Original sin. Fall of man. You were perfect in the garden. You fucked up. Eve, Adam. Original sin. It's been your fault since the beginning, apparently. They make you hate yourself. You despise your own beingness, your own body. They're just going to continually, make you feel guilty, ashamed. Shame is a big tool that they use. It's a powerful tool. They're going to shame your very existence, your desires. That's insidious. Let's move on. It's about that time where Z brings you the goofy science.
By the time
the hashtag science. Let me get my shit up here. Here it is. So today's article is India's moon rover confirms sulfur and detects several other elements near the lunar South Pole. And I know I've been going over this a lot, guys, but you have to understand why. I mean, this is, one of the top stories now. And it's only going to ramp up with this space presentation. So I'm going to stick on it. Let's go into it. It won't take too long with this article, but there's some things I wanted to point out. This is from the AP. And you guys know I'm not pulling like deep journal articles about space. I'm not like rifling my way through, astronomy journals, astrophysiology and shit, astrophysicists. I'm not doing that. I'm just reading you mainstream news articles because I want to kind of highlight what's being presented through mass media to the indoctrinated masses, how absolutely absurd it is. Let's get into it. India's moon rover confirms sulfur and detects several other elements near the lunar South Pole. New Delhi. India's moon rover confirmed the presence of sulfur and detected several other elements near the lunar South Pole as it searches for signs of frozen water. Nearly a week after its historic moon landing, India's space agency said Thursday. Well, here's what I'm wondering, guys. I tend to ask questions like this. I mean, I am the Zetetic warrior, means to proceed by inquiry, so let me live up to my name with my questions. Well, why would you need to send a rover up there with this, high-level advanced technology? Why would you need to do that when apparently we went to the moon like a bunch of times in the late 60s and early 70s, and we actually brought back samples from the moon. Like, they tell me we brought back like dirt from the moon. All right. Well, if we brought back dirt from the moon, why not sample that? Why do you need to go into like what they're going to present us with, these probes and stuff? And then you'll say something to me like, oh, well, that was, a different part of the moon. They're on the South Pole. And I would say, okay, well, how about this? If it was so easy to go to the moon and back with men, why can't we go to the moon and back now and just bring the samples back? No, Z, but you don't realize they need guys up there to blast off, and you have to have the LEM where it comes down and lands, and then really, why? If in 1969 you can do it with that basic technology, you can't do it with like drone and wireless technology. If you were doing it in 1969 and in the early 70s multiple times, any logic or reasoning mind would be able to understand that they'd be able to go there easily and take samples back. You wouldn't have to have the advanced technology that I'm about to read you to just, take, readings and try to then interpolate and interpret what the soil composition may or may not be. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? You would just go there, take a sample, and get it back to Earth, and then analyze the actual dirt that you can touch. You wouldn't fucking do what I'm about to... See, I don't want to get upset. I come on here, and I start, and then my music stops because I get all disjointed, and then I, lose my thinking because I engage in this, I don't want to get emotional about it. I know some of you guys like when I get emotional, but we don't have to do it like that. I could just calmly read the article. I could speak rationally on it, and, we can go from there. It doesn't have to be this whole thing where I lose my shit. I know, Heidi, you're asking me to stay balanced. You're reminding me, and I appreciate that. So, all right, I'm balanced now. I'm balanced. I got my music reset here, and we're going to approach this rest of this article in a rational way. All right, let me do that now. All right. So my point is, guys, you wouldn't need to have these advanced sensors sampling and taking data and sending it back and then try to interpret what the soil is. You would just have a craft that would bring the soil back. That's it. End of fucking story. That right there, what I just said should debunk this whole fucking thing for you guys. Anybody who's still clinging to this dumb story. Let me continue with this ludicrous story as I try to keep it balanced, as Heidi says. The rover's laser-induced stereoscope instruments also detected aluminum, iron, calcium, chromium, titanium, magnesium, oxygen, and silicon on the lunar surface. The Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, said in a post on its website. Oh, great. So it was basically sulfur and then all the other things I just said. But notice they had to use a laser-induced stereoscope instrument. Oh, really? I'd like to hear how that technology works. Like I said, why not just bring the soil back? Oh, no, Z, they can't because you got to blah, 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 blah. No, you can. If you brought men back, if you shuttled men to and from the moon 5 or 6 times, basically 50-some years ago, you could do it again without the men, remotely. Isn't that obvious? No, but they're going to use a laser-induced spectroscope instrument on their stupid rover. Come on, music. Trying to get my music to work. Let's continue with this nonsense. The lunar rover had come down a ramp from the lander of India's spacecraft. After last Wednesday's touchdown near the moon's south pole, the Chandrayaan-3 rover is expected to conduct experiments over 14 days. The ISRO said, just 14 days? You got the rover up there? What else? What's it going to do after that? Anyway, the rover unambiguously confirms the presence of sulfur. ISRO said it also is searching for signs of frozen water that could help future astronaut missions. That's a potential source of drinking water to make a rocket fuel. Right, like I said before, first of all, would you drink water from the moon if you were an astronaut? I don't care how much you filtered it. That'd be weird. And two, oh, you're telling me you can make rocket fuel out of water? Well, how's that? Like I said, why wouldn't we just be making rocket fuel out of water here if we could do that? They say we could use electrolysis to separate the hydrogen from water, so why not just do that here? But you could do it on the moon. Let's continue. The rover also will study the moon's atmosphere and seismic activity. Yes, seismic activity. They're just going to hope there's an earthquake on the moon while it's up there. Anyway, ISRO Chairman S. Somnath said, on Monday, the rover's route was reprogrammed when it came close to a 4-meter wide crater. Ooh, good thing. It's now safely heading on a new path. The ISRO said the craft moves at a slow speed of around 10 centimeters, which is 4 inches per second, to minimize shock and damage to the vehicle from the moon's rough terrain. After a failed attempt to land on the moon in 2019, India last week joined the United States, Soviet Union, and China as only the 4th country to achieve this milestone. Good job, India. Way to go. Great job. The successful mission showcases India's rising standing as a technology and space powerhouse and dovetails with the image that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is trying to project. An ascendant country asserting its place among the global elite. Global. The mission began more than a month ago at an estimated cost of $75 million. Right, like I said before, it costs less to go to the moon for India than it does to make a movie about the moon. Guys, you understand these blockbuster movies are like $100 million budget, $150 million, $175 million. But India went to the moon for less than it cost to make movies about the moon. Does that make sense? No. India's success came just days after Russia's Luna 25, which was aiming for the same lunar region, spun into an uncontrolled orbit and crashed. Sorry, Russia. Better luck next time, dummies. It would have been the first successful Russian lunar landing after a gap of 47 years. Long time. I guess they were rusty. 47 years is a long time. Russia's head of state-controlled space corporation, Roskosmos, attributed the failure to the lack of expertise due to the long break in lunar research that followed the last Soviet mission to the moon in 1976. Active 6 to 9. This is going to be. I want you to listen to this last couple sentences here. Just last sentence. 2 sentences, which is funny. Active since the 1960s, India has launched satellites for itself and other countries and successfully put one in orbit around Mars in 2014. Did you guys know that India was putting things around Martian orbit in 2014? And that they were launching satellites in the 60s? I wonder if you guys really think about that, guys. The first satellite wasn't launched into space until I believe it was like 1956, potentially 55 by the USSR. Sputnik. So Sputnik was up. So the Russians did it in the 60s and the 50s. But you're saying that in the 1960s, India was putting satellites up in orbit? Does that make any fucking sense to you? No, it doesn't. The timeline doesn't add up. So you're telling me Russia figured out how to do it in the mid-50s, but by the 60s, India was doing it and putting satellites up there? No. I'm not buying it. You shouldn't buy it. The story falls apart, guys. It doesn't make sense. The story doesn't add up. If this was a trial by jury, like, it'd be open and shut. But y'all just believe it. And you believe they put a satellite in orbit around Mars? Fucking Mars in 2014? Nah, come on. And finally, India is planning its first mission to the International Space Station next year in collaboration with the US. Now, I want you to think about this. So now they're going to tell you India is going to be able to now dock and shuttle people back and forth from the International Space Station. Well, let's think about it. So first, when they quote unquote built this International Space Station, they said that we were using the shuttle, the space shuttle, to do it. Okay. Then apparently they retired the space shuttle in 2011, I believe. And it wasn't until 2020 that Elon Musk developed his Dragon capsule and his Falcon rocket in 2020 that's now shuttling the astronauts back and forth to the International Space Station. And in between it, I believe they were saying Russia was doing it. So from 2011 to, or whenever the International Space Station was built, which I believe was, actually I don't know the date exactly, but put it this way, in between the shuttle program, which shut down in 2011, and the Elon Musk SpaceX thing in 2020, apparently Russia was bringing, people back and forth to the International Space Station. So first it was the shuttle, then it was the Russians with their technology, then SpaceX was doing it now, and now they're saying India is going to be having missions to the ISS. But let me ask you guys, does that make sense? Do you think they would take the risk of these multiple independent organizations shuttling, docking with the International Space Station? Does that make any sense to you? Do you know the degree of error that you'd be dealing with by having these multiple independent organizations try to engage into this collective endeavor? You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't just have the Indians designing their own shit and going to bring it up there. You wouldn't put lives in danger like that. You would have a plan. You would have a method. You would have collusion and cooperation. You wouldn't have independent agencies docking with the ISS. It'd be too hazardous and too dangerous. You wouldn't do it. It strains credibility, it strains credulity, and it's just fucking phony and fake. None of it's true. Zero of it. You guys got to start opening your eyes and see through it. Just think. You just have to think, people. You wouldn't allow India to design its own fucking technology to dock with the ISS. You wouldn't have these multiple organizations doing it. It doesn't make sense. It's a lie. It's a joke. I'm tired of it. Hopefully people will wake up. Maybe they will. Maybe they want us to wake up. Maybe they want this to crumble. Maybe guys like Z and others like me, we're just doing what they want us to do. They can't admit that they've been lying for all these years, so they need guys like us to do it. Blow up their spot, order out of chaos, anybody? Phoenix rising from the ashes? Maybe they're ready to implode this whole thing. Maybe they're using guys like me to do it. I don't know. Either way, I'm not going to shut the fuck up about it. Christy Lee Doll says exactly. That's right. Christy Lee Dolls gets all hot and bothered when I do this, as she's gyrating her hips nude under her covers. That's right. Not like that's going to help me, Christy Lee Dolls, as you're down there in deep south, getting all hot and bothered by Z. But no, what does she do? She just pick up the phone and call Z? Does she shoot Z a text message? No. She's going to open up her fucking Tinder, her Bumble. She's going to swipe right furiously on every 6'3" Chad that she comes by. And she's going to invite him over to take care of business. Meanwhile, I just sit here by myself staring at a wall day after day, night after night. Thanks, Christy Lee Dolls. No help to me. Yeah, Robot Saturn, hot and bothered. God, give me a break. She says, no more dating apps for me! Exclamation point. funny. Yeah, and Indoctrinate says, imagine going to an astronaut interview, and when they say, what special skills do you have to be an astronaut? You say, I can take a dump in a shop vac like toilet. Yeah. Guys, we've talked about this. Like the bathroom on the ISS debunks the whole thing. You don't have to go any further. See, this is the high level information that Z brings you. It's really just called critical thinking and logic. You can't take a dump in space. The logistics of it don't work out. You can't have like a bunch of people, guys and dolls, floating around in a fucking tin can, having to take dumps, take pisses in space, sweating, puking, ejaculating. We talked about sex in space, guys. It doesn't add up. You just can't do it. You wouldn't do it. And like I said, now they're sending them fucking Indians up there. No offense, Indians, but I've had Indian food, guys. I've talked about this. Chana masala. Chana masala runs right through you guys. Talk about having the squirts. So now you're going to send these Indians up to the ISS now that they're a big space powerhouse? So I'm up there with my Indian, astronaut, and he's like, oh. I'm like, what are we going to have for dinner tonight, guys? And he's like, oh, let's have some Indian food. I'm Indian, of course. We're going to have some chana masala with your curry and shit. Next thing you know, we're eating. I'm like, oh, this is good, Ahmed. Thanks. Appreciate it. I don't know, that might have been a Muslim name. I don't want to be racist, but that's good. Insert Indian name. I love chana masala. Then all of a sudden my stomach starts to gurgle, and I'm like, oh, guys, excuse me. And they're like, oh, Z, again. I'm like, sorry, it's the chana masala. And then I got to go over into the corner of the ISS, and like Unindoctrinated says, get the shop vac fucking toilet out to take a dump. You know, I got the squirts in space from the chana masala that the Indian astronaut just had. Dumps in space don't work. Bowel movements in space are impossible. Zero-G bowel movements are impossible. I just debunked the ISS right there with chana masala and bowel movements. You don't have to go any further than that. I don't need to be like Nathan Oakley and adhere to the scientific method dogmatically over and over and over again, day after day. I don't have to talk about elevation angles on a curved adjacents compared to a flat baseline for celestial navigation. I don't need to talk about the impossibility of, a molten yet magnetic Earth core that obviously goes past a Curie point of magnetism. I don't need to talk about that. I don't need to talk about, the radius value and where that comes from and the lack thereof. I don't need to talk about the impossible Earth curvature and that there's no evidence of it because we see way too far. I don't need to talk about that. I don't need to get all scientific on everybody to debunk space and debunk the stupid ISS and the dumb globe. All I need to talk to you about is irritable bowel syndrome in space and the impossibility of a bathroom in space. And I could just leave it right there. I'll debunk the whole globe using that example. To me, it's just a sound. Who needs a scientific method when you have that? Get it, guys? Just saying. Just saying. God. Guys, sometimes, I finish the show, I have no clue what I said. I'll go back and listen to parts of the show. I'm like, did I say that? Where did that come from? It's a weird thing that happens to me. It's like I blank out sometimes. I just start talking. Words come out. It's weird. All right, let me kill the goofy music. Let me kill this fucking music. It's too much. It's too much. All right, let's move to the open panel portion of the Z show, where I boldly let the whole metaverse come up here and just destroy my show. But I do it because some people, like yours truly, some of us value open discourse. Some of us like, the idea that people can speak freely. And then there should be very little, if any, restrictions on people's speech. Because I, believe, and I'll admit that it's a belief, that people have agency, people have accountability and the ability to think still. And that if people can come up and present information, others can use their discernment. And they could decide whether or not that information is valuable or not. I don't like to censor what people say. I don't do that. So I like open discourse. And I use my platform for it and I allow it. That being said, link to joins in the chat. Come on down. Who will be the next contestant on the Z Show? And as we give people time to come up backstage, should they choose to, we'll do a little interlude. Let's see what I could bring up as an interlude here. They're not always musical interludes. Sometimes they're just segments, skits. Like I said, don't be shy. Come on up, and lend your voice to the conversation. Let's play let's play this. Oh God, do I want to play that? No, I can't play that. You guys will freak out if I fucking play that. That'll be too much. Let's play this. This is from Flat Fingers. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth.
Well, what was that, Bill Nye, the science guy? Did you say
There's
Earth is
no
a closed
place to
system?
go.
Let's start that over.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Today, I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in your county. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Moving on, outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now, what's really interesting is that they trained for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now, surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space, because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would like a darn good explanation as to where our tax money is going. And if they are indeed faking the funk, it is our duty to expose and eliminate this fraudulent and astronomically wasteful ISS program. And look, I know what you're all thinking. The NASA is part of the federal government, and you're just county commissioners. Even if what I'm saying is true, what can you do? But let me remind you, not only is this happening in your county, as public officials, you have the platform and the ability to make a statement or hold a press conference, alerting the public, state, and federal authorities to investigate further. You have the power to start the conversation. Video evidence of everything I described today will be emailed to you all, and I truly hope we can get to the bottom of this. I look forward to the day that $3 billion annual budget is put towards our veterans, our homeless, maybe some of that mental health stuff the young lady just spoke about, and the revitalization of Brevard County. Thank you for your time today, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, sir.
I think you're better at ping pong than I am.
Here's how. Just simply use a blue screen. Voila, now you have a bubble of water floating, as if he's in the outer space, inside the ISS.
All right, that was a pretty good one.
Hello, my name
People
is
were
Luca,
asking me
and I am 10. My
who that guy was talking there in front of the council. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody knows. You can put it in the chat. I'm not sure who that was. I'm not sure. But I like to kind of collect those kind of clips and stuff, just to remind people. Some people say to me, backstage is still open, anybody wants to come up. I say it every morning. Will this be the morning where no guests come up? Which would be fine. You could do that. I'd rather people come up and talk to me, this portion of the show. I monologue, guys, for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, like each morning. You know, I could do a show where it's just me monologuing for 2 hours and then I end it. But I like to spend the last half or third of the show with the open panel portion. But we don't have to do it like that. It's not like a necessity. I like how some people, there's been so many claims levied against me since I've started this whole endeavor here on YouTube. And one of the funniest, at least to me, claims has been that, that I have embraced the flat earth topic because, you know, it's a hot topic amongst truthers. And that, I, for some reason, have this master plan to, basically grift off the flat earth community on using the flat earth subject, which is hilarious because anybody who really knows it, I always say this about, flat earthers, and the term could be pejorative. It's we know each other when we see each other. And I'm not going to say who's levied the claim against me, but when that claim's levied against me, I know you're not a flat earther. You're a FINO, which is a flat earther in name only. Because they'll, because anybody who's, Dr. Evil says I'd be the worst grifter ever, right? Exactly. Yeah, D'Angelo says this is the fringe of the outcast community. Exactly. Hey guys, if you want to make money, if you want to make money, grifting off flat earthers is probably not the way to do it. I see you in the back there, guest. FEE. I'll bring you up in a second. I'll bring you up in a few moments. Thanks for being here. And thanks for showing yourself. I like that. Shows you got balls. What was I going to say? Yeah, if you're going to grift off a community, the flat earth community is not the one to do it. But we know each other. So the people who've said, I'm here to grift off the flat earth community or just have adopted flat earth as like an angle, yeah, obviously like are not one of us. Just saying. Because we could smell each other in 2 seconds. But I am like, I want to go through my old material, which is going to be a lot, because you guys see, you know, now I've been on for hundreds, if not thousands of hours at this point, just even on my channel. And, you know, I want to pull out, you know, all my flat earth stuff and put like a montage together. That way I could just point to people. Like, here you go. Listen to this. Maybe it's 3 hours of me just droning on about it. Because I get it. Not everybody's going to sit here and listen to all my stuff. You know, but the point is, if you're going to grift, this isn't the community to grift off of. And we know each other. Now, we can argue about the basics. Like some people say, oh, there's accelerating Earth. Some people be like, yo, you know, like there's some people that claim, you know, that instead of, you know, that what we call gravity is not gravitational force, but is actually electrostatics. Other people say that no, the force that we call gravity is actually us accelerating upwards, like at a constant rate, constant acceleration. Either way, we still could sniff each other out. Let me bring up my next guest. He calls himself Flat Earth Eric. I don't think I'm acquainted with you, Flat Earth Eric. By the way, let's bring you up. Welcome to Z Show. What do you got for us, good sir?
How's the audio?
Good. 5 by 5.
All right, good. Yeah, listen, I'm new to your content. I've been following Stavely for a little while, and he featured your thing on Rose 777, and I watched all that, and then you said she was on Rockfin, so I looked at the whole program. I'm going to try this. I guess it'll work out fine. From what you say about your flat Earth journey, I think that requires a lot of respect, and I'm just going to drop this here. I've been talking about it. I've made it my mission that I am going beyond South Antarctica on airships. And I'm talking about it in places like this. So we can start a discussion and start figuring out about it. And I'd like to get your comments.
All right. Well, I like where you're going with this, man. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So first off, you sound American. You in the U.S. or what?
South Carolina, North Carolina.
North Carolina, right on. I'm in South Jersey, southern New Jersey.
Yeah, I looked it up this morning.
Right on. Now, you say airships.
Right.
Let's start there. Do you have a theory on why airships were discontinued? Do you see the Hindenburg as basically a false flag to basically launch the movement away from airship technology? Go ahead.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They had to get rid of those because airplanes were a better commodity. I can't prove it, but that's my operating theory.
Great. Okay, so you have a mission. You want to go beyond. So here's the logistics of what you're talking about. My chat is asking if you have a channel. Do you have a channel you want to promote?
I don't.
Gotcha. So let's talk logistics here, and then we can just take the conversation wherever it goes.
Good.
So as far as logistics, are there any current companies or how many that make airships, design airships? Have you looked into it? Let's start there.
Yeah, I haven't researched that. I don't have those results. The best I know right now is that Goodyear has 8 blimps, and they move some of them in and out of football games and other events for publicity. And so it's an active technology. There's probably a whole lot of invisible stuff in the sky that we never notice or recognize. I don't know. point about logistics is very significant. It's going to be a huge expedition enterprise. The logistics are going to be tremendous. The finance is going to be tremendous. The engineering, but we got to start somewhere, and that's what I'm doing.
Right on. What do you conjecture for the fuel? Helium, hydrogen? Like, because I'd imagine there's going to have to be mechanisms to produce fuel. There's no refilling stations in the Antarctic. What do you propose?
There's no shortages of anything around here. They just artificially claim that. So whatever the engineering team decides is better, helium or hydrogen, we'll do that. We can produce anything we want to. And, if we get popular, we'll just make the government provide it. When you say fuel, you're talking about floating the ship, right?
Well, two things. One, you have to have, I don't know if you would need to be able to reproduce the gas, whether it's helium, hydrogen, or otherwise. I don't know if, you could just have enough to get there, if that would need to be replaced. But certainly the fuel that's propelling the craft, right? You'd think that would need to be replaced at some point, or produced in a sense if you're using maybe even hydrogen, or I don't know.
That's
I don't know if we could run on
never
gas
thought of
or
that
solar.
before. That in route you have to replenish the balloon. I haven't considered that before, but I'm sure that's known technology.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you would need to replace the gas within the actual balloon itself, or it just seems like you would need some, obviously your fuel is going to be some kind of a logistical issue to work out. And then of course there would be the resistance from the militaries, from these so-called countries that would
right.
You can't, I mean, come on, like we all know in these communities about the Antarctic Treaty of 1959, I believe it
Right.
was. I'd imagine it's not just watercraft. I'm sure aircraft would be considered a similar incursion in terms of the treaty. What are your thoughts there?
Well, it's going to be a process, a timeline. It's going to be a progression on the spectrum. We get started and see how far we get. Maybe we get in the air, and maybe we get down to wherever we start from. Maybe we'll start from Chile or start from Patagonia, south of Argentina. And maybe we'll start from Australia. We'll see. We got to get to a certain point before we have to worry about being shot out of the sky.
Let me ask you this. What about the idea of a drone, even if it is an airship, unmanned, multiple of them? They'd have to be much smaller. I mean, they could be much smaller, just out there with cameras, real ones, transmitting. I don't know what the transmission distance would be on, some type of camera using particular radio wave technology. Did you ever think of that? Unmanned missions?
That's a brilliant idea. I have heard one guy mention drones, but he was talking about toys. You make me think, because I believe you're a serious person and a serious flat earther. We could use full-size craft that are drone enabled, because they fly anything unmanned now. So yeah, that's a great idea. Be a third or less the cost, maybe a quarter of the cost if you didn't have to provide for crews. However, I guarantee you I'm going to be on one of them. I am going.
You're going on the airship. Nice.
I'm going.
Nice. Well, it's funny because if you saw my spot on Roast 777 last weekend, you saw Dave Weiss was on, and a lot of people get on him about making money off flat earthers, but he said, hey, you should be glad that he's making money because he wants to reinvest it. He said he wants to make $1 billion and then he'd be able to invest in stuff like this. Have you ever thought of the idea? Because this would obviously have to be a collective effort. Obviously, finances is key. There's a lot to go into it, but I'm sure money's going to be the biggest one. But now let me talk to you, because there's a lot of flat earthers.
Slow down. I got to answer that. I am not. This has got to be a new thing, and I'm not riding on anybody's coattails. I don't need to get money from Dave or, God knows how much Karen's getting out of those conferences. And so it's going to be new money. There's plenty of money out there. I'm sure you're familiar with this. There's guys all over New Jersey with stacks of money, and guys all over California and Montana and Florida. There's plenty of money in the world to do this. We just got to get the program started, and you're helping with that right this minute. So yeah, I'm not going to be trying to get anything out of Dave's pocket. He's got his
Good
own
for you,
operation.
dude. Good for you. He is Jewish. And if you try to pull shekels out of a Jew's pocket, sometimes they can get a little rough, dude. Just I
Well,
understand why you wouldn't when you're reaching into his pocket. I get that.
Okay, even if you volunteer, even if they volunteer, you still lose control. So it's not about Jew. It's about Dave's got his own operation. He's getting tremendous things done. I'm full support of his work. So this has got to be a new thing, not because of hats.
Right. What do you say about like the Nathan Oakleys of the world? I'm sure you're familiar with Nathan Oakley. Are you? It doesn't matter. Either way, he's a flat earther, and he would, when he starts hearing stuff about outer lands, he loses his mind because they'll say, "Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence?" Let me ask you, what evidence can you present that there are outer lands? I'd love to hear it.
It's all circumstantial. It's all the usual stuff flat earthers know from the YouTube videos and from listening to Dave Weiss and the rest of them. I didn't even know who Nathan Oakley was until 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when this fight broke out between him and Jaron. And, I don't care anything about Nathan Oakley. It's just the whole scandal seems to have started when Oakley started making personal insults against some flat earth content creators. And it looks like maybe he's just trying to line his pockets with, gawkers on his stream. And I don't care about Nathan Oakley. Everybody I talk to about this, and I've done it several times, the first thing they do is start asking about obstacles, and we're going to figure out all the obstacles and overcome them. I don't pay attention to that. If Oakley's an obstacle, he's no concern of mine.
Let me ask you about your thoughts on Admiral Byrd. In his comments there in the mid-1950s when he was on that TV show, and he mentioned that there are lands beyond the South Pole on the other side of South America, uncharted lands with resources and bigger than the Americas. What do you make of his comment there? Was he alluding to some of the stuff we're talking about, or was he just talking about, the Antarctica that they present to us through the globe and just people misinterpret it as he said more lands? What are your thoughts on that and Admiral Byrd in general?
Yeah, I'll give you some response to that. But first, let me ask you if you looked at my background.
You're asking me if I've seen your background.
Behind me now on the screen.
It says Airship South Beyond.
Okay, do you ever go to Telegram?
No, it's funny. A lot of people are on Telegram, but I'm not. Go ahead.
Okay, this is the Telegram channel for what we're talking about right now.
All right, so it's a Telegram channel, and it's just called Airships South Beyond. Is that what it is?
Correct. Yeah.
So you're saying
so
if
we need folks
to
to gather. Go ahead. We need folks to gather and get started. We got to initiate this and then build it. There's going to be engineers and financiers, accountants. There's going to be logistics and operational people, and it'd be nice if we could just have a talk with a current active airship pilot. They're out there. They're guys that are doing it. And so we should just try to find some people that are involved and begin conversations. We got a lot of, directions to go. The end result is pretty clear, but it's a big project. It's going to be very hard. If you want, I'll go to Admiral Byrd.
Yeah, tell me what you think about Admiral Byrd.
Looks to me like, from what I can interpret, that he was presented to the public by the cabal or deep state or whatever you call it. And then they had a change of heart and decided to do something else. Or, they fight with each other all the time. So maybe somebody pushed them out of the way, like Scarface and the other guy. Who knows? They pulled Bird in, and folks got a sample, and he's a good vehicle for us to help people figure out about. Look, it's almost certain there's a crowd of people that aren't talking about stuff that they know for sure about Antarctica and beyond. So as we grow and develop and build, we're going to get leaks from people. We're going to get information from people. We're going to get, and if there's populations beyond Antarctica, they're probably hanging around here keeping tabs on us. We may actually get contact from some of them. Who knows?
Yeah. Are you familiar with this song? I'm going to play a song here, and I like where we're going with this, so don't go anywhere, man. I want to keep going.
I'll hang out. You go ahead and play.
Links in the chat for anybody who wants to come up and contribute to this conversation. I like where this is going.
Bring in anybody else you want.
Yeah, right on, man. All right, because you inspired me to play this song, and I haven't played it here in my show yet. So we'll be back in a few moments, guys. Links in the chat to join, and don't go anywhere. I'm going to bring you. This song's called Airship from Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms. A lot of you guys like this song.
Very nice.
You ever hear this song before?
Yeah, I don't keep up with music. I'm very unmusical, but I know Chief Crow, and I want to hear it.
Oh, this is just going to be your favorite new song. It's called Airship, dude. It's called Airship. Let's play it.
Definitely favorite new song. Definitely.
All right, here it goes. We're playing this for you, Eric, and for anybody else.
It's for the project.
There you go, for the project.
It's not about me.
Don't go anywhere, guys. Yeah, Airship, everybody. We're getting crazy this morning.
I'm on the airship. I'm taking up a mile in the belfry. Powered up by some kind of free energy. On a hook's the false flag of the Hindenburg. I'm on the airship. Mapping out the coastline of the earth. Twisting through the cloud, it's a mannequin. I'm on the airship. I'm getting at the bottom of the bed. Over the castles of Tartaria and to the palm trees of Antarctica. I'm on the airship, looking at the coastline of the earth, soaring through the skies in Anatolia. The birds are here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now floating in space. Thank you for taking this one and creating the sky airship.
All right, coming at you, everybody.
Yeah, that was a good interlude. I liked it.
It wasn't bad, right? That's Airship by Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms.
Right.
Um,
So we're getting some traction on the chat group. Folks are climbing in.
what, on your Telegram group? That
Yeah.
you're saying? Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Well, there you go, man.
It's a guy named Alex Tilburg from France.
Yeah, Alex. He's in France. Yeah. Right on, dude. So let me ask you on a personal level.
Right.
Look, a lot of us who will have the moxie to call ourselves flat earthers, we know what that entails. There's real life consequences when you just go around when everybody knows you're a flat earther and think you're kooky. What about your life? How has being a flat earther affected your life? How, do people in your everyday surroundings know that you want to basically like organize an airship over the Antarctic ice wall into outer lands? How has that affected your real life? What do people think? Friends, family members, otherwise?
Okay, I'll give you the short version. I live in the town where they had the 2017 International Conference Robbie Davis put on, and I learned about it because the local media was making fun. I wasn't too good at engineering and the physics and all that stuff. A year ago, April, I heard Dave Weiss on a podcast, and then I started consuming his content. I learned his narrative. Now, whenever I leave the house, I wear a flat earther T-shirt, and I tell anybody who will hold still.
What would you say to people who would say to you that you're basically, how do you know the Earth's flat, or what does it matter? Which is two separate questions. But people who just kind of say, why are you so passionate about it? Who cares if the Earth's flat? Big fucking deal. What do you say to that?
You got to narrow that down for me. You went that's broad spectrum. What do you want me to answer?
Well, basically, I'm trying to get to the social stigma that some of us experience. Have you lost friends, lost family members? How do they treat you at family functions? Are you like the pariah? I'm trying to get to that point. The personal aspect of it for you.
Yeah, I don't have a big community of friends or family. I grew up in a large family. I had 10 brothers and sisters, but they're dispersed all over. And so it's just me and my wife here in Cary, North Carolina. She's got people in Georgia.
Gotcha.
You know,
Well, what does your
I mean-
wife think? Come on, man. All of a sudden, you're new to this game, you know? Like last April or around about that time, you come out and you say, "Hey, wife, I think the
Yeah,
Earth
yeah.
is flat." I mean, come on, that's
Yeah.
gotta be impactful, man.
She's indifferent to it.
Right. Indifference.
I've,
which
I've
is
been
a-
into conspiracy and scandals as long as I've known her, and she's just averse to any of that. So we have a mutual understanding about, you know, sometimes she'll listen to me, but I don't try to convince her of anything.
Gotcha. That seems to be a lot of the issues. Now, I mean, you know, you're no spring chicken, so but you could imagine that for many in the so-called community, the impact that it's had on people's lives and relationships and stuff. I remember, like, you know, trying to tell. I was married at the time, and I would try to talk about this stuff with my wife. Man, she was not having it, and to the point where, you know, it could become somewhat of an issue. I know some people work by it. So I get that. It's different for everybody. RT says translation, his wife thinks he's nuts. Exactly, RT.
That's true. I agree with that. He's on target there.
Yeah. No, he's fucking crazy. You know, it could be quite
look,
divisive, man.
You know, I learned this from her a long time ago. Everybody in the world is crazy except you and me. And I got my doubts about you.
That's a good one. Nice one.
Yeah.
RT, man, can you picture RT, dude? Can you picture like when this guy's getting ready to like climb aboard the airship to the outer lands, and like his wife like standing there like kissing him goodbye as he's boarding the airship? Like it's like what the fuck's going on? So, dude, I
It's
mean,
happened before.
You've kind of like you're kind of new to this game and you're all in, which I like. I love your enthusiasm for it, and we need guys like you around here doing this. So what's Jay saying? He says it isn't a game. It seems that's how he thinks this. I don't know, Jay. I'm not. This guy seems pretty serious. I don't think he.
I don't
thinks it's a
follow Jay.
game.
Ask him what he's talking about.
Yeah. Jay, why don't you come up and ask him? Well, I love it, Eric, because like Jay's been up here a million times, and I have an open panel. You know, instead of him just coming up and asking you and kind of just having a conversation with you, people get scared off of my panel because I'm kind of a roughie. I'm sort of no holds barred in my panel. I hold everybody's feet to the fire. And
I kind of checked you out. I'm a little familiar with that.
But here's the thing, man. Like you're kind of all in. You're all in on this. Now, you're not the only one who understands that it's important to bring Antarctica into this conversation. My interest in Antarctica is many. One is this idea of the
Hold on. You're getting out in outer in the outfield. I want to back up. You ask about something and it just slipped away from me. But I'm gonna about the impact it has on people. I know that several of the top flat Earth content creators have close family members that think they're crazy.
Yeah, man. That's kind of
and you know the same ones I do. They talk about it, they mention it, but and it may explain why they work so hard is trying to get it out there so they can get their family back.
Interesting. I mean, that's part of it. You know, it's funny you say that, Eric, and I see you, Jay. I'm going to bring Jay up in a second.
Bring him up.
Eric, the one of the main reasons I do my show is because of what you said. Not saying my family thinks I'm crazy. I'm not sure they know what I think, but I want to leave a record. I want there to be a record when this is all said and done that I was lending my voice to this conversation for what it's worth. And then people can go back, they can go through my material and they can make what they want about it. But at least you and I are speaking about this, Eric. We're not sitting in silence. We're not capitulating to a control matrix that wants to shame us. And we're kind of letting it all hang out. So salutes to you, Eric. Let's bring up Jay. Now, Jay, I believe, I don't like to strawman people's views, but I think Jay is very understanding of these
All
topics.
right, just bring him up.
Eric, are you the fucking... See, guys, this is why people don't want to come on my show, because now I'm going to scream at Eric. Eric, is your name in the title of the show? Is it Eric Show or is it Z Show? No, it's Z Show.
You should act right.
Is it the Zetetic Warrior
I'm a
channel?
guest.
Or is it,
I'm
or
a
is it-
guest. You should
or is
treat
it the,
me good.
yeah, so you're going to tell me now I'm going to have to shelf you. Now I'm going to have to put you in the back because people get out of line on my thing. Don't go anywhere, Eric. Don't run off. Don't get butthurt. I like watching boomers up here. All right, he's a flat earth boomer, but he's still going to be a fucking boomer. All right, Jay, let me bring you up because Eric now got on my nerves. I want to bring you up in a second, Eric. I know you want the discourse. Calm down. Calm down. Fucking boomers. What's up, Jay? Talk to me.
Wow, man. Not much. How you been?
Good, man. Good.
I don't know where he's really going with this. Like, I get it.
Well,
like,
Jay, I think he's going. I think he's
passionate
look.
and all that.
Hold on, Jay. I don't want to cut you off, but as I cut you off, listen. I think he's legit. I think he has a desire to organize an expedition using an airship beyond the what he conjectures is the Antarctic rim into the supposed outer lands. I think the guy's fucking legit, dude. Now, go ahead, your thoughts. I don't want to step on you. Then we're gonna bring Flat Earth Eric back up. Go ahead, man. My bad.
I just don't think he really is taking in consideration what that really all entails to actually happen. I mean, if he hasn't even really done anything except for put that into his mind to spark it. He hasn't looked about the airships or the people that are about to put their asses on the line and shit. I don't think he has any real repercussions yet from being a flat earther or any of that shit yet for him to even stand on ground yet about it. I mean, everyone has a good idea.
I was kind of having a similar thought, Jay, where I'm like, okay, he's kind of new to the game. He's in that stage where he's very zealous about the endeavor, and I understand. And like you said, like when I asked him about the stuff with his wife, and he's like, oh yeah, she kind of thinks I'm crazy and stuff. Like I'm like, yeah, be a flat earther for five or 6 more years, Eric, and see if that wife's still standing by your side. What happens to your kids and your cousins and stuff. But that's a separate topic. But I would agree that I like where his mindset is, but it doesn't appear as though he's investigated any of the logistics. When I brought up about the companies making Zeppelins and airships, the the mechanism of the float, what kind of what kind of gases are we talking about? Hydrogen, helium, hot air. What's the deal? How are we going to propel this thing? Fuel. Getting beyond the 60th South fucking parallel, bro. Let's bring Eric up. Come on, Eric. Welcome back. Welcome back, Eric. Talk to Jay. How do you kind of
Hey Jay, glad you're here.
Engage with Jay. Go ahead.
Jay, do you have a question?
Sure.
Go ahead. I love you, Eric. I love guys like you. You got moxie. Go ahead.
All right. Jay, ask a question.
How did you actually get into the flat earth? Besides listening to David Weiss, is that all you came off of this from?
Okay, I'll say it again. I said it before. I live in the town that had one of the international flat earth conferences in 2017 run by Robbie Davison. And the local media made fun of it. I learned it. You could still find stuff on YouTube then. And because of my approach to conspiracies, I interpreted right away that it was correct, but I couldn't contend with the engineering and the physics and all that math and stuff. Dave does a vernacular narrative, and I was able to learn that. So now I can talk to anybody, a friend or a stranger, and I do every day. And so I just learned how to express it about a year ago, and I talk to everybody. So there's your answer.
So how is your town now?
Regarding
After
what?
that conference, how was your town?
Okay, what's the music in the background going on?
All right, you're gonna produce my show, Eric. Just talk. Just present your
Okay,
shit.
Jay,
I'm gonna turn
what's
my
your question
camera
about
on
the
and talk to this
town?
guy. Hold on
How
a
was your
second,
town?
Eric.
How's your town now?
Please shut the
In
fuck
what
up.
regard?
Yo, when Z says shut up, this guy's nuts. Eric, you're gonna come on people's shows, dude. You gotta realize you're in. This isn't the Eric, the new flat earth fucking show. This is the Z who's been a flat earth for a long time. Don't think I'm gonna turn it over. I like you, but I'm gonna put you in your fucking boomer place. Jesus. Eric, you're gonna be on my show 3 years from now after your wife leaves you. You're gonna go through a great divorce. And you're gonna be like, oh God, now I know what this whole goofy stuff about airship did to me. Don't get ahead of yourself, Eric. I'm gonna put you in your place. Now, continue with your discourse with Jay. Don't worry about what fucking music I'm playing in the background. And just be glad I'm giving you a platform. Go ahead, continue. God forbid.
Jay's trying to ask me about my town. I don't understand the question.
Who gives a fuck? You're on a panel. He's putting you.
How was
He's
your town?
questioning because you're a new flat earther, dude. He's questioning your credentials in the flat Earth topic. Because
Okay.
look, you're talking about. You realize outer lands are speculative, Eric. You
I do.
understand that, right? You just can't
I
assume
do.
outer land. Okay, so let him fucking talk. Go ahead. Don't worry about what I play in the background.
Jay,
Go ahead. My
I'll
crowd
give you an
loves you
answer.
already. My crowd, look, Christy Lee Doll says she loves you, Eric. She's hot. Look, when his wife finally gets rid of you, you're going to need girls like Christy Lee Dolls. I'd
let me
imagine,
write-
I'd imagine Christy Lee Dolls might entertain you for maybe, a little bit of shekels. Who knows? Some of
Well,
these flat
yeah.
ladies are hard up. Who knows?
let me
You got-
write that down.
you got Angela Baby Carson. Have you ever checked out this Angela Baby Carson? She does videos in a bathtub. She appears to be quite attractive. I'm just saying, Eric, your wife probably's not going to go along with this airship stuff for too long. So you're going to want to keep your options open. All right,
Okay,
go
I'll
ahead.
remember.
Talk. Don't let me get in the way of my own show here, guys. Go ahead. Here we go.
All right, Jay, yesterday I went to a business in town that's operated by one of the senior town council members, and I gave him the flat earth routine. He listened, made a couple of notes, said he'd heard about it before, and that was all. I don't press people if they don't talk. I don't push it on them.
So basically, he just wrote it off, is what he did, right?
Well, you can interpret that however you want to. I feel like, and this is what I tell them. I say, look, this may be too much for you, but I'm letting you know about it because we're growing so fast that pretty soon it's going to be in the mainstream media. And when it is, and you see it, then you'll know what it is. And I'm just giving you the background on it. And I make it something beneficial
What
to
is this
them.
we are growing so fast? You mean we as in what you're trying to do, or as in we as in the flat earth?
People coming to the knowledge of flat earth is growing tremendously.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, that's true in a sense, but do you not see the division also and everything else that is going along with this?
What if I do? So what?
So it's not some big ass happy family that is all about oneness and everything now, correct?
So what?
So there are mass problems going on, right? So the problems that you don't even have not even taken the step, right? And any of those figuring out the logistics of anything, really, right? This is just new.
Jay, I'm an optimist, and I don't stick to problems.
Optimist. you're an optimist, so that's the
Yeah.
solution. So if we're all optimistic, everything's going to work all itself out, right?
That's just my approach. It's a personal thing. I'm sorry if you don't like it.
Hey,
You
I'm
can
not
do-
knocking you about doing this. I'm not knocking you about doing this, but I'm just saying, like you said, you had 10 brothers, right?
10
I mean,
brothers
I
and
got
sisters.
kids. I got kids, and my kids. Do you think that everything just went easy, or they didn't say anything to me about that? You know,
I'm
none
not
of your
thinking
brothers
about
said anything to you.
Yeah, hold on. See, Eric, I don't think you're coming clean to us about the impact on your life with this stuff, and you're not helping other flat earthers by holding back on this, man. Because just to pretend like, oh yeah, my wife's kind of going along with it, nobody in my family, whatever. Come on, man. You got to realize the real life impact this shit has, man. You got to come clean. Go ahead. Is that what you're trying to get at, Jay? That you feel like he's holding back, like he's got this front up, like you're gonna have to deal with this on an emotional level, Eric. You're gonna have to deal with the fucking consequences of coming clean with it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Exactly.
That's good clarification, Z. I appreciate it. Somebody asked me a question about my family. I'll try to answer.
You see,
No?
you're one of these guys. I can imagine, Jay. Could you imagine, like, you bring Eric to like a therapy session with like the psychologist? He's the guy that sits there all clammed up with his mouth shut. He's not going to say a word. You're all fucking bound up. You're all bound up, Eric. You got to loosen up a little bit. You got to, you got to, you got to express yourself a little bit, man. You got to, you got to go into it. If you got kids and shit and brothers and sisters, this is a big fucking deal, dude. Come on. What's wrong with you?
No questions.
Just
Go
what
ahead,
about your
Jay.
brothers? For instance,
Okay.
it's your brothers.
I have two brothers living. One's real old, and when I talked to him about it, he said, yeah, I've been hearing about that from my conspiracy crowd for years. I don't believe it. And so I can't, I just let him have that. He found out and he said no. The other one has never responded to it. He's an attorney in Detroit, and he's got his hands full with his career and his families, and he doesn't like talking about my kind of stuff. So, I mean, we're still brothers. We talk and we're friends, but they don't engage. And I've got three sisters that are in a feud with me about the parents' estate. So they don't talk to me about anything. Nobody and none of my brothers and sisters want to discuss it.
So you have tried to discuss this with them. Is that correct?
Yes,
then?
that's correct.
And so basically you're just the kooky ass brother with a conspiracy theorist. Is that right?
I'm the crazy uncle. I'm the crazy uncle. Yeah.
And anybody that you know as friends or anything, that I'm assuming you have some friends, maybe.
I'm friends with some of the neighbors, and I have other friends, and I mention it to them if they want to, engage with it. They do. When I first got the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, I started doing meetups. I did Saturday afternoon meetups at a local tap, 3 months, June, July, and August. And I gathered about 15 people from my county that would come, and we got a Telegram group, and, we exchange links and stuff, but, they figured out Flat Earth. They showed up at the meetup, and, we became friends, but they're all on different.
And they probably don't care about it now, correct?
About what?
You probably don't even talk to them anymore, right?
Well, on Telegram, yeah. And a couple of them are personal friends, but.
Or are they into this, or are they just talking to you? they're still
Hold on,
into
let me
this.
jump in here. Let me jump here. Don't
Your
go
wife?
anywhere, Eric.
What about
I'm
your
gonna shut
wife's
you. I wanna-
friends?
Hold on a second. Hold on, Eric. Relax. I want to talk to Jay for a second. So, Jay, what's the crux? What are you trying to get at with this guy? Let's get behind your motivations. Like, let me try to say this, and maybe I don't either agree or not or add to it. Is it like, do you kind of see Eric as sort of like new to the game? He's still in the honeymoon phase of flat Earth, where he's motivated, he's zealous, but he's not maybe at this point understanding the real life impact that embracing a different worldview will have on him. Go ahead. What are you thinking?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right.
Well, let me put
I
this
don't-
to you, Jay. Hold on, Jay. And I'm going to bring up in a second, Eric. Is it possible Eric is triggering in you something because do you feel inadequate? So when you see somebody like Eric who's so passionate about the subject that he wants to fucking, design and chart a course over the fucking ice wall in an airship, is that triggering something in you where you feels like you're not doing enough to promote your beliefs? Is that possible? I want to investigate your psychology with this. Go ahead.
No, not really. Not really. I mean, I took my hits when I, went with mine, said what I needed to say, to my surrounding inner circles of people and everything, and dealt with the repercussions of, from my family and whatnot. I mean,
All right, so what were the repercussions? Why don't you remind us what kind of stuff went down?
Well, my kids, they're older, and my daughter no longer lives here. She lives in another state, and, which also could cause conflict between her and her soon-to-be husband, and, at the time, because they were living here with me. So that was one of the things.
Right, because everyone thinks you lost your mind, and then you throw like the pandemic on top of it, and it's just icing on the fucking cake. We're that much more crazy. It's like, it was like one thing when grandpa or dad was like going on about the shape of the earth, but then when things got real, when we're talking about lockdowns, forced medical procedures, et cetera, yeah, shit kind of gets real there, doesn't it? So I get it, Jay, and I kind of know why you're passionate about this. And also, are you kind of like seeing Eric as almost like a baby flat earther, because you see that there's the Dave Weiss kind of, let's say, flat earthers, where it's like, yeah, extra lands, and we don't really need to focus on the scientific method. We can conjecture, and we can give models, and we can talk about how the heavens move above the earth, and we can give you a map. And there's many in the community, because Eric might not even realize that. See, you're bringing up division in the community. Eric might not even see it. And I think you're probably aware of that. Maybe you're up here to show that to Eric, that like, hey, not everybody's on with the other stuff. Not everybody takes the AE Gleason's map as the actual map of the realm, and that there is controversy. Is that what you're trying to get at with him? I'm going to let him back up.
Yes, exactly. That is definitely true.
Let's let him back up. Eric, are you hearing what I'm saying, and how do you respond to this stuff?
Yeah, I don't think Jay figured out what you just told him.
Yes, he did. He understood fine. I talked to Jay a million times.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand that.
Well, I don't care about the division.
Yeah, but are you aware of it? Are you aware that there's different, let's say, flavors of flat earthers? It's not a one size fits all thing. Jay seems to be wondering if you're aware of that situation, whether or not you care about it.
The division I see is that some of them play nice and some of them don't. Eric DeBay has attacked all kinds of content creators.
Mark Sargent, Eric, is it that, or is it they just disagree? Look, Eric, some flat earthers think it makes us look crazy when we talk about lands beyond the ice wall. Now, I can agree with you. I think that that's a compelling story, a compelling argument to be made about other lands, but not everybody's me and you, Eric. There's fucking people that think when people start talking about other lands that that's counterintelligence, that's a counter op. You're kind of new to the game. You might not be aware of it. So you look at it as, oh, maybe Eric Dubé's hating on people and trying to cause division, or Nathan Oakley is trying to cause division. Like Eric Weiss had the balls to tell me the other night that he thinks Nathan Oakley's possessed with a demon. Okay. Or it could be that they see people talking about lands beyond the ice wall as actual counterintelligence trying to make us all look fucking crazy. Eric, if you don't understand this conversation, you're not ready for the conversation, dude. Can you put your fucking boomer ass ego aside long enough to listen to people like me and Jay talking to you? Maybe we'll help you out a little bit. Go ahead. Floor's yours.
Okay. I want to make you the vice admiral of the project in charge of psychoanalysis.
Well, yeah, it should be, because I'm probably the one who's most fit for that job. You got something right there.
Yeah. So you're going to be the vice admiral of the expedition for psychoanalysis of the crew.
Yeah, man, you got to think about these things, dude.
Why?
There's certain ones in the community because it's a legit thing. Because
why?
Because it goes beyond science, and when you start going beyond science, that's how you end up on a globe. Do you understand? When you start talking about,
I don't follow you.
When you start bringing up things that be considered pseudoscience, and you start to conjecture things that have no proof and aren't demonstrable, that's how you end up on a stupid spinning globe. You can't fault people who are dogmatic about the scientific method. If you're not willing to acknowledge this part of the community, you're not ready to acknowledge this fucking endeavor. Go ahead.
You
sure
sure can't be leading
about
people
something,
to
and I'm not sure what it is.
blindness.
Z, you seem real excited about something, but I'm not sure what it is you're so excited about. Okay,
Excited.
Go ahead, Jay.
What do you mean by excited? No, I'm trying to
You
point
were
something
getting
out to
very
you.
passionate with that.
Yeah,
and-
right. Because I'm trying to, first of all, my audience likes when I do that. They think it's funny because it is funny. Secondly, I'm trying to get something through to you because you're going at this in a rather naive mindset. You're not understanding that your biggest resistance with this endeavor is going to be from the quote unquote community itself, dude. Because they're going to think you're making us all look fucking crazy. I don't agree with that, but there's going to be a large segment of the community that's going to basically think you're fucking trying to make us all look cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, dude. Just saying. If you don't know this, I'm trying to teach your boomer ass this right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't care about them.
Well, maybe you should care about him. And that's a problem.
I don't know why.
And I love Dave Weiss, but that's my problem with Dave because he took that same attitude with Nathan Oakley. I asked Dave about Nathan, and he was like, oh, he doesn't have any fucking subscribers, so what does it matter anyway? And he's just hating because he's a demon. No, he's ignoring a strong argument. He's ignoring that when we talk about other fucking lands, it's pseudoscience at best, it's spurious, and there could be an argument made that that's a counter op. If you don't fucking see it, here's the problem, Eric. You're going to sit here and you're going to show the same cog dis that the Globies do. Exactly. Let me ask you, let's get to what kind of truther Eric is here. Eric, if every man or woman died tomorrow, would Earth still exist?
Yeah, I don't have no idea.
See, you never even asked yourself the fucking question, and that's why we're here doing this to you, Eric.
I've never thought of that. I don't care about it.
Right, because you're a baby truther, and we're calling you out on it right in front of the world. You're a baby truther. You're a baby truther.
All right.
So you want to lead people into their own demise, basically, right? Is what you want to do under some false shit pretense, whatever you want to tell them.
It's voluntary. Listen, Jay, I want to go, and I'm going to try to work on going. Now, let me just mention to you that I've heard several top flat Earth
I wanted to
creator.
go too.
Can I finish?
Okay, I was
Can
there
I
once
finish?
too.
Can I finish what I was? It's a sentence,
Yeah,
Jay.
go
Can you
ahead.
wait
Have
for that?
at it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's a sentence. I'll just finish one sentence, Jay. I've heard several top flat Earth content creators say they are ready for the trip to beyond Antarctica.
Who is that?
Well, Hibbler said it before I ever talked about it on anybody's platform. He's got it in one of his programs where he.
All right, enough said. I hear you. I know where you're coming from. Enough said. Yeah. Yeah, I know who Hibbler is. I've watched Hibbler. I like the Hibbler stuff and all, but you need to look behind the scenes of the scenes of the scenes to see what you're really what's really going on.
Yeah, I'm willing to listen to you, but I don't understand what you're saying right now.
I know you don't exactly, but that's nor here nor there, man.
Well, if you're going to keep talking and I can't figure out what you're saying, that's not much good.
Props to you, man. I give you props with where you're coming from, with what you're saying, all right? But you're just not really there yet. Like,
Jay, what was your career?
And it's going to get you hurt. It's going to get people hurt. It's going to tear lives up. All that stuff that you don't give a shit about, you know?
Jay, what was your career?
All right, so here's the thing, Eric. Here's where you're showing your baby truth or credentials. What does his career matter at all?
Well, I'll tell you if I find out.
No, see, this is what we're trying to get. Jay, Eric.
Do you really? I'm not the one that needs to be proven anything.
Oh, Don.
Eric, I'm not the one.
Eric,
if you really want to know, give it.
Eric, what's your conception of God? Who's God?
I just call it the creator. I used to be a charismatic fundamentalist Pentecostal Christian.
Okay.
Now I listen to Jeffrey Daugherty.
You listen to Jeffrey? You like Jeffrey? He's into those Nordic gods. What do you think about that? That's what he's into now.
Well, he's a little difficult to listen to. I can listen to you rant better than him, but his work is tremendous in my view.
I would agree with that.
Eric,
and I appreciate
what's your own
that.
Belief? What's your own
Go ahead,
belief?
Jay. Go ahead. Jay's excited. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, Jay, go ahead and try not to interrupt.
Yeah, okay. What's your own belief, though? What's your
regarding what?
In your heart, what's your own belief?
Regarding what?
About God or anything. God or anything.
I believe we were created by something, and I don't have any evidence of what that was.
Okay, and so as in the Bible, the whole Jesus and all that stuff. You just believe, right, that we were created by something, and you don't know what it is.
That's what I said.
How you live your life? How do you live your life? How do you live your life? In sin, not in sin, whatever you want to call sin or not call it. What's that?
I talk to guys like you that can't stop interrupting.
I'm not the one that just interrupted, man. That was just you. So do you live in sin, not sin or or whatever you want to call it?
Sin.
Okay.
What is sin?
Fair enough. Yeah, that's what I figured you would say. No shit. So do you think you live your life as correctly as possible to yourself, right? To your inner self?
What?
To your inner self.
Define sin.
I was just using sin as the word. How do you live your life, would you say?
Talking to guys
Good,
like
bad,
you.
What's that?
I talk to guys like you.
Which are what?
Well, how you are.
How am I?
You're vague and ambiguous and deceptive.
Yeah, sounds somewhat like looking in the mirror, probably towards you, right?
Well, I'm on camera, Jay, and you ain't.
That's right. I'm not on camera. Because, you know,
Okay.
I know that can be repercussions from my face being on here, too. There's a time when I will, but right now ain't the time. And
Whatever.
if it's going to take just to see my face, do you think that's going to make the difference between what I'm thinking? Or do you think I'm not real?
I think it makes a difference.
Right, it does in a sense. But it's not, I am real as it can possibly be, man. You know,
I don't deny that, but you can't come out.
I'm not trying to come out. Come out where?
In the light.
I mean, the light of what? If I'm a flat earther, I'm a flat earther. If I'm a truther, I'm a truther, right?
Well, I guess consequences are a high risk for you. I don't know.
Yeah, they are a high risk.
Okay.
Right now, they are a high risk. You know,
So
you're older than me, so, you know, it might not be as much for you.
will you
But
tell
like,
me
for
what you're...
instance, let me ask you something real quick. So your wife just thinks you're cuckoo and shit. So what about her friends? How did that impact her life?
I'm
It did not-
gonna shelf Jay to talk to Eric because I shelved Eric. It's only fair turn. Eric, so what is your why do you think Jay is coming at you with this type of energy? What do you think is his underlying motivation with you this morning? What do you conjecture?
It sounds like he's afraid of people getting hurt going on an expedition.
No, I'm not seeing that. I disagree. I think he sees you. You, like you said, you're on here. You're showing yourself on camera. You're kind of laissez-faire about the whole thing. You're like, yeah. And Dave Weiss is kind of the same way. And I love Dave, but yeah, the Earth is flat, everybody. We're just gonna go out and tell everybody. And I think it might make Jay feel a little, you know, I'm speculating, Jay, insecure about himself because he sees you on here planning fucking trips on an airship beyond the ice wall and saying, oh, you know, my wife's kind of cool with it. We just don't talk about it. And I think it paints a rosy picture, and that's not reality, Eric. And I think guys like Jay want to deal in reality. They don't want people just coming on here saying, yeah, just go tell everybody the flat earth. Yeah, and then I think Jay realizes that it's more than that this is a bigger fucking deal that's going on here. And it seems like he's kind of looking at you a certain way because you don't seem to be acknowledging that aspect. Like even saying, well, he won't show his face and stuff. Well, who knows? He could have a job somewhere. Come on, Eric. You're probably retired, dude.
Yes.
You know, Eric, do you know anything about my background since you brought up backgrounds? I mean, I know you're
just
new
a
to me.
little. Yeah. I heard you say your first name talking to Rose the other day. You were a
Right.
Pediatric audiologist.
Right, you got it. Let me ask you something, Eric. Do you think I'd still be able to be a practicing pediatric audiologist coming on here every morning with my show saying the stuff I say? Do you think that
Well,
would be a possibility?
Yeah, I just take your word for it. You stated that you got run off.
No, I'm asking you a question in generalities. Do you think I would be able to continue to exist in a pediatric hospital as a pediatric audiologist in management and come on here and do the Z show where I tell everybody the earth is flat? Do you think I'd be able to keep my job in my profession? Yes or no?
Even if you didn't talk about cunnilingus, you would not.
Right, exactly. So you know right there that there's real life consequences with this. You know that there's real things that go along with opening your mouth and coming out with this. So to admonish Jay for not showing his face, we don't know. Jay might be a fucking pediatric audiologist himself and doesn't
That's
want to
true.
destroy his
That's
income.
true. We don't know.
bro.
I asked him and he wouldn't say.
Right, but and I think that's what Jay's upset about. I don't want to speak for him. I want to bring him back up. Is your laissez-faire attitude towards this topic, and Dave kind of has that same laissez-faire attitude. I get it, but not everybody could be Z and Eric and Dave. Not everybody can come on here, show their face, and say the things we say. All right, Jay, welcome back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I can't, or I would. Wait. Just at this time, I can't, you know. And
Jay,
regardless of what I do, I can't do it right now. You understand? That's
Jay,
as simple as it is. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the way Z just described it, and he knows you, but I don't. I'm new to this platform, and I've never heard of you before. But the way Z just described you, you could be a federal agent.
Yeah, that's true. I
Right.
could be. I could be anything. Correct?
Well, anything includes you might be working for the FBI. You might be working for the
Yeah.
CIA.
And you might be the
You might
next
be a
biggest
NASA
psyop there possibly is too. You know?
Okay. If you say so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on.
Or you
All
could
right,
be the craziest kooky person that there is, you know?
Look,
When I can tell
Jay,
that,
yeah. Jay, everybody's crazy except you and me, and I got my concerns about you.
oh no, I'm crazy. We're all in a fucking nut house, man.
Y'all,
what's that song?
all y'all are crazy.
We all are.
Any country western fans? There's a good Waylon Jennings song where he says, "I've always been crazy, but it keeps me from going insane. So I'd rather be crazy than insane. So I'll take it." Listen, let's wrap the show. We're 4 minutes over. Eric, come back and see us. You had a good showing, Eric, today. You went through the gauntlet. You didn't back out. You're not a pussy. You did show your face, and you're going to come back and visit us sometime soon, Eric.
I'll be watching. Hey, I got
Right
some
on.
good traction on the Telegram group from you. So tribute.
Right on, man. We'll talk to you again, dude.
Thanks.
Jay. Yeah, Jay. Any final words, man? Thanks for coming up, dude.
All right. No, not really. Eric, good luck on that. All right.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Much love, guys.
All right.
Thanks to my guests.
All right, Z. Take care, man.
Much love. That was cool. Like I said, guys, we hold everybody's feet to the fire here. We're not playing in-group games here. And I notice a lot of you guys in the so-called Flat Earth community, you're real into the who's on the in, who's on the out. And it's funny because the ones who you consider on the in-group tend to be the ones with the biggest followers, the most subscriptions, the most views, and the most shekels. So that's our new standard of truth, guys. Is who's with the biggest followers, the most views, and the biggest shekels. Nah, I'm not going with that. We're not doing in-group games around here. And I love you, Awesome Austin. Hopefully, we can move beyond some of our differences. But that was my big issue with you, Austin, and your whole gang. Is you didn't like when I was talking about other people in the community in a harsh way. And I watched all your guys' mafioso tactics fucking form around me. We're not doing that. Not as long as I'm here fucking talking. We're not playing that bullshit. It makes us look incredibly bad to everybody else around us. If we're going to protect ourselves, like when I started talking about the Trouble in Tribune thing and everybody got up in their fucking panties about it, got panties in a wad. We're not fucking doing that here, not on this show. Sorry. We're holding everybody accountable. If not, then we lose our credibility to everybody. So you start saying, oh, yeah, no, Nathan Oakley just must have a demon, or I don't care about what he says, when he's trying to hold people to the scientific method. We need to be held to certain standards, guys. Stop with your fucking in-groups, your out-groups. Because like I said, who's considered in-group now is about who's been in the game the longest with the biggest subscribers, most views, and making the most shekels. That's the new standard. Sorry, I'm not fucking having it. Thanks, Three Fingers. I thought it was a nice rant myself. Much love, everybody. We're doing our thing, We're doing our thing. I'm not against shekels, guys. Like G Spot comes here every morning, says, "Oh well, why doesn't Z have his Cash App up, spending his time here?" I know I'm spending time and energy here. I'm strategically not asking for donations now. Maybe that changes. There's other ways to monetize. In reality, I'd rather have people I'd rather do, if I had a choice between, and I'm not saying because this is a false choice, between getting donations directly from you guys and having commercial breaks where I just, I take intermissions a couple minutes at the top of each hour. I'd rather have people to pay me to fucking, promote their products here than ask for money from you guys. And it's not from any degree of righteousness. It's because I think it might be a better model. Because my suspicion is if you guys start donating to me, then I may even unconsciously start to cater to the ones who are donating to me. And then I stop holding people to certain standards. And then I end up being like some other content creators who feel like certain voices are above reproach and scrutiny. Maybe that's why I'm not doing it, G-Spot. Maybe I'm not blocking my blessings. Jeez, can you come up with a worse trope than that? Fucking makes me cringe just to hear that. That Z's blocking his blessings. No, maybe I'm trying to be strategic about this. Maybe I realize I'm just going to come on and do my Z thing, build my audience, and then it could go from there. Maybe somebody says, look, Z's got a fucking awesome morning show. Maybe we'll simulcast Z's morning show on this network, on this platform, and maybe they give me fucking shekels. Or like I said, look, Lucky Haskins has a Flat Earth Lodge. Maybe I start fucking promoting Lucky's Lodge, and he throws me X amount of shekels each month. Even if it's 20, 30, 40 bucks. I guarantee you, if I start doing I might do the Lucky Haskins Flat Earth Lodge commercial just because I love Lucky pro bono. But maybe I start doing that, and Lucky goes, here's 50 shekels a month for you, Z. Thank you. I got 5 people booked a fucking room at my lodge. Or who Grounded Extract says, okay, here's a couple shekels a month to start talking about my products. I would be more inclined to do that than to get direct donations from you guys. And I'm not saying I'll never do that. Yeah, G-Spot. He says, see, here's your problem, G-Spot. I'll say what I just said, and then your dumb fucking culted up ass will just say, you're scared of success, to be honest, Z. No, because I don't agree with your method and your cult leader, Paul Enslaved, who's all too willing to fucking take shekels from his fucking unwitting audience members. Try not to be so culted up, G-Spot, when you come here. Dummy. No, maybe because I don't want to get myself into the same death spin that Mr. Enslaved has got himself in, where he now has to cater to his core group and he can't get the fuck out of his loop. Because he has like dummies like you that are just going to contribute shekels to him each day, so he can't change his message. Sorry, stop trying to be so culted up, G-Spot, dummy. As you say, I'm blocking my blessings and afraid to be successful. Do you want me to start talking about my successes in life, G-Spot? Do you want me to start talking about the shekels I've had in life? Don't tell a man who's been successful that he's afraid of success. I know the trappings of success in this world. Maybe I build my treasure elsewhere. Maybe you don't know anything about that, dummy. Maybe you have no clue what I'm doing, G-Spot. Is just a fucking moron. Idiots. Dummies. Morons. You guys can't help yourself. You guys want to be a bunch of armchair quarterbacks. You think you know what the fuck you're talking about. You guys don't know what this game is. You just don't understand what you wouldn't know unless you're doing it. You guys like to sit in the background and think you know what the fuck's going on, like morons like you, G-Spot. You do it. You do what I'm doing. You basically look these controllers in their face every fucking day and call them out. And you think it's without consequence. And I think that's why Jay was so triggered by Eric, because Eric comes up just willy-nilly, a retired boomer, going, yeah, we're going to go to the fucking outer ice walls with an airship. And Jay's understanding what the consequences are of even just saying this stuff. Get a grip, guys. Anyway, much love. We'll do it again tomorrow, 6 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love, everybody. Take care.